David, I called earlier about and I was wondering how late you guys were open till.
Look, see, I remember when I met you as a sophomore.
Much better. Okay, so today marks the official day that I'm gonna start my search for a new bike. And here's my theory. We're coming to the end of riding season. So with that being said, the prices of new bikes are dropping. And I've been riding for about 1.5 years now, and I finally want to upgrade to a Super Sport. So we're gonna start the search. I don't know how long this is gonna be, but I'm excited for you guys to stick around.
So the search begins. The initial plan was to go look at 1000s, but after some consideration, I realized a 1000 may be a little much for what I'm looking for. So that narrows it down to the 600 class, and from there I can narrow it down by brand.
Okay, so it's official. I just listed the CBR for sale on Facebook, and I'm gonna see how long this is gonna take. If I get a good offer on it or a good deal, I'm definitely gonna just, bite on it. With that being said, I'm keeping my fingers crossed that if we get a good deal on this bike, then I can go from dealership to dealership comfortably and maybe pull the trigger.
During the week while I waited for somebody to bite on the Facebook ad, I decided to go take a trip to the dealerships to go see some of these bikes I've been looking at online. But at the end of the week, that's when this happened.
Okay, how much exactly were you willing to offer me for my bike? Let's do it. When do you want to meet and where?
So the CBR sold. The next morning I got on the bike, dropped it off, and said my goodbyes. I'm gonna miss that thing. But now that we're getting serious about looking at a new bike, I narrowed it down to my top 3. First one for me to look at was a Gixxer 750. Although it's not a 600, I still wanted to take a look. And although I might get some hate for this, not my favorite bike. On to the next one. Next up was the CBR 600RR. I was not a big fan of the exhaust pipe coming out under the taillight, as well as there wasn't a whole lot of features that came with this bike, so we're gonna move on to the next one. The third and final option is a Kawasaki ZX6R. The styling of the bike was very bland in my opinion, until I saw the blue color. For some reason this color popped off the screen to me and I had to go see it. So, time to make a phone call to the dealership. Fingers crossed I could pull off a good deal on this one.
Good morning guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to today's video. As you could tell by the title and thumbnail, or if you follow me on Instagram, I've been hinting at getting a new vehicle added to the channel. As you could see, I was grabbing my bike gear and there is no bike in the garage. So we are picking up a brand new bike to add to the channel today. So stick around and find out what bike I picked out. I think you guys will be so stoked at the bike when we go get it. So let's go get our stuff ready and make our way out. First go.
Everything's ready for you, man?
Awesome. I'm super excited. The exhaust and everything going okay?
Everything's on, man.
This is my brand new 2023 Kawasaki ZX6R, and yes, this is the bike I ended up going with. Jumping from a 500cc to something like this has been a massive adjustment. One of the main reasons I chose this bike over any of the other bikes was just the sheer styling, sound, and power that this thing has. It's a very linear power band compared to most 600s like the R6, for example, where you don't get anything until like 8,000 RPM. This thing also comes with a Kawasaki quick shifter. Which is unheard of for most bikes coming from factory to have a quick shifter already installed. From my understanding, most quick shifters, you need to be at full throttle for them to fully function. Kawasaki kind of adjusted for that. You don't need to be at full throttle, you can barely be holding it, no clutch, click. As you saw in the beginning clip, like this one, it's lightning fast when it shifts. It's like using the paddle shifters on your car. It's lightning fast. As soon as you click it, it's in the next gear, and it makes you a little bit faster for when you're racing on the track. Obviously. There is different power modes in this. There's a low power mode and a high power mode, which is very useful for when you're trying to transfer over and get used to the bike, but I'm not going to bore you too much with those features. I will do a whole separate video on that. The bike itself is completely bone stock besides the exhaust. I bought it brand new, and when I called about the bike itself, I asked how much it would be to do an exhaust system on it or a slip-on. So they threw in the M4 as part of the deal, and that exhaust sounds insanely good. It's not overbearingly loud. I know some people like it like ear deafening, which is nice about this is because I can remove the baffle. Right now I like the tone of it. It's not crazy loud, but it's also not quiet at all. You could definitely hear this thing screaming by as you heard in the video. But for now the baffle will be staying in. With the baffle in it, it's very loud still. I can barely talk. I'm like screaming right now. If I take the baffle out, it's gonna be twice as loud. We'll do that in the future. So for the build of this bike in general, one of the main things that I'm doing first is the giant delete off the back. Most of these bikes come with a giant license plate holder like this one presented here. Same with my older bike. They had the giant license plate holder hanging off the back. But for the most part, just that, ECU flash, the exhaust is already done and it sounds amazing. And I'm just gonna be getting used to the bike for a little bit. I'm gonna be doing a bunch of POV rides. I'm getting a better mic set up for my helmet so you guys don't have to hear me mumble like you did in the previous bike content. But yeah, I'm excited to do a lot with this bike and I hope you guys are too. Thank you for checking out the new bike and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
I need fortune.